Welcome to Cooking with Miss O. Let's join Mary Beth Oxendine in the kitchen as she teaches you how to cook Southern style healthy.
Welcome to Cooking with Miss O. We're real excited. This is the first show of our third year, and of course you can see we have a new kitchen. Everybody here at the station did a beautiful job of working and making it look more like my kitchen at home, and some of my things from my kitchen are in here. So I hope that all of y'all like the change. I want to thank Wayne and Dante, because it was their mom's kitchen, and I know it was hard for them to change, and I really appreciated them letting me do this. Today we're going to start back in my cookbook. For those of you that don't have it, you can order it online through us, and we're doing a breakfast. It's one that I do waffles or pancakes. I've done the waffles, but I haven't done the pancakes. And the reason why I chose this is for once a month for the next couple of months, I'm going to be teaching you the foods that are the highest in helping, that God created to help you not have cancer. And we have had 2 bouts with cancer in my family just in the last 3 months. One has gone to heaven, and another one has pancreatic cancer. And so I just wanted to show you, because I've really been researching the effects of food on cancer and found out so many things. So I'm not going to tell you what the 3 main foods are until each show, but today I want to tell you something. All 3 of them surprised me. They weren't what I guessed, but and I guessed blueberries and strawberries and all that, and that wasn't the main ones. And fresh ground whole wheat flour, not just whole wheat flour that you buy anywhere, fresh ground. So I'm going to teach you what I teach in my cooking classes, that you need to eat live foods so that your body can function. And when we don't eat live foods, things like cancer and other things like that come in its place. It's just like a car that can't run on gas that has a little bit of water in it. So whole wheat flour was the number 2 food that can help you not have cancer, but it also, if you have had cancer, so many times cancer patients, and one member of my family that has pancreatic cancer had cancer before, and it will come back in some other areas. So whole wheat flour, fresh ground, and I'm going to show you all about that today. We're going to do pancakes. I wanted to show you that, and I wanted to tell you too about whole wheat flour, and the reason why I'm doing pancakes, and you think, oh, I just can't have pancakes for a breakfast meal. Yes, you can if it's fresh ground whole wheat flour, because it has 72 hours before all the nutrients are out of it. So I grind right before I do it, and I've just ground this. It's kind of loud, so it messes up with the camera, so I've already got it ground. And you can see, and a lot of people ask me about this, it's the kitchen meal. That is the grinder that I use by Blendtec. You can find it online, and you can buy it online from their store. And it's real easy. It's very inexpensive. I think just because of shipping, it's about $10 more than when I bought it in 1990. So, but anyway, and then here I have my flour. So let me show it to you. And this has, when you have this meal, it has 14 grams of protein in it. But it also has folic acid, which we need to keep us from having so many babies with so many defects. Birth defects. And so I didn't realize this, but we put folic acid in our vitamins and all, but the way to get the best folic acid is when it's live in the first 72 hours of the whole wheat flour. As usual, I'm a little bit nervous because I just am. Everybody says, oh, Mary, you look like you're not nervous up there. Well, I am. And I have these wonderful people in here that smile at me, and the cameras, and the young lady that's helping me, and Stephanie over here that's helping me, and they're all great. So I really appreciate all of them. So if you've got the cookbook, you can follow along on page 26. But before we start, I wanted to give you my verse for today. These are the verses that have helped me so much in my life. This verse God gave me in January 1994. It says, I am sending an angel ahead of you to guard you along the way and to bring you to the place I have prepared for you. Worship the Lord your God, and his blessing will be on your food and water. I will take away sickness from among you, and none will miscarry or be barren in your land. I will give you a full lifespan. And then the third one, which I didn't even go on, and it didn't get me until September 11th, when the Twin Towers were hit. So the next verse says, I will send my terror ahead of you and throw into confusion every nation you encounter. I will make all of my enemies turn their backs and run. I got that in November in 2001, and I prayed that for our nation. This is Exodus 23, verses 20 and 25, 26, and 27. The reason I use those today is because I have learned that we have foods that God has created that will help us in living a healthier life. I learned through my husband dying that God gave me also another verse that says, you will be healthy until the day God takes you home. And I actually, it was a different translation of that same verse I gave you. And I didn't know that when I was praying that verse, that that's what it meant. But he had a genetic artery condition that he shouldn't have lived healthy until the day God took him home. And his day probably wouldn't have been as long. So I just want to tell you that the food we eat and how it still is in the more natural form is the way that we can live healthier the rest of our days so that we can do more for the Lord and we can be healthy for our families. Now, this whole wheat flour, when you grind it like this, is very light. A lot of people say whole wheat flour when they buy it in the store already in the bag, that it is very heavy and the food is heavy. Well, anybody that's eaten my food says, oh, this is so light. It's because it's not dead yet. After 72 hours, any flour you eat, whole wheat or any kind, has no nutrition left in it, and it becomes heavy. Okay, we're going to do, I've done the 2 cups fresh ground whole wheat flour. Now we're going to do the 4 teaspoons of baking powder. Now, when I make these, and this is the same batter for the waffles, and this is the pancakes, so you don't need a waffle iron. That's 4. And I do this baking powder because it has no aluminum in it. So I've been using this for a long time. You could find it at Ingles, and I really like that they keep that in stock. Now I'm going to do the sea salt, and I can only find this at Ingles. And this is USA sea salt. They have it. And I think I need 1 teaspoon of that. Sea salt is what you need to help your potassium and all in your body. You do need some salt, but doing iodized salt has sugar in it, and also it really doesn't do that much for you for health-wise. Now we're going to, so these won't clump up and have little things in it of the salt and baking powder. Always do your dry ingredients and whisk it. And as always, I tell you where I got stuff. This is the best whisk I've ever had, and it's Pampered Chef. Now, I do organic milk. Horizon is the one I get at my Ingles store that I really love. And I'm going to go ahead and pour 1 3/4 cup skim milk. Now, if you have people with dairy problems, you can also do just water. And I do distilled water from Ingles, and it is this one you can get. And if you wanted to do that. Or if you just don't want so much dairy, then you can cut the milk by water and do half of each, and it's still great. And it's fine with just water. So we also do a teaspoon of the vanilla flavor. I also am going to be teaching you how to feed a family of 4 meals. And I can't do it all the time because some of the meals are a little bit more expensive, for $5 for a meal. Not per person, but for a meal. This breakfast is less than $5 for a family of 4, and you will have some left over, unless you've got teenage boys. When Josh got older, he ate a lot more, and so it was, let me go ahead and put this in, and then I am going to whisk my eggs in here and add them to it too. Now I use organic eggs because if you're allergic to any antibiotics, you want to do organic eggs. My daughter is allergic to sulfur, and some people are allergic to penicillin. You can have the same reaction to that drug if you eat an egg and you don't know which antibiotics they have used. The shells are a little bit hard, and I just got a shell in there. I used to practice with my kids doing the eggs and cracking them, and so they could get used to it, because that's one of the hardest things for kids or for adults to learn, is cracking the eggs. And I need just 2 of those. So let me wash my hands real quick. And I have forgotten my paper towels, and I'm using this. Now I just whisk these real good. And I pour that in. Now, how you can tell this is a live food, it will bubble up and it will rise as if it had yeast in it, and it has no yeast in it. After I get it, and then it thickens up. It's thin at the beginning, but because it's a live food, it grows. And that shocked me to death the first time I saw that, but it's so interesting. If it gets a little bit too thick for you, you can add a little more water or a little more of the milk. We're going to be right back in just a minute. Thanks so much, y'all. Welcome back. We're ready to cook our pancakes now. And remember, it's the same batter that I did waffles with. And I've got a little bit of olive oil in here. You can do butter, and butter is fine because it's natural. Olive oil is great, and you can also do coconut oil. And I'm working with some with coconut oil, but I've tried it on my face. But this is a new green pan, and it's a non-stick. So this is the first time I'm trying it with y'all. So I will let you know right here if it's any good. Now this is bubbled up some, and I don't know if you can tell that or not. But here, let's just put that in here. And while that is cooking, I'm going to cut up some strawberries. There, let's just see how this goes. I found this at Walmart, y'all, and I really like this because it's real easy to use, and they had the knife with it, so it was a wonderful deal. But the other thing is too, when I'm cutting up stuff on this, it has a slide thing to it, so then I can just slide it right in there, and I really like that. Because sometimes on just a flat cutting board and I start pouring it in, it has the curves on the side, everything falls out off the side. And that way I don't have to just pick it up with my hands, I can just slide it in. Now I do strawberries because strawberries are one of the best fruits you can eat for any kind of thing. Autoimmune, if you've got autoimmune, they'd rather you eat berries instead of the apples and the oranges. But strawberries and blueberries are the best of all the berries too, the healthiest. So I put this with it. When I'm making a pancake for breakfast, sometimes I never use a syrup, but I always use organic because it doesn't have formaldehyde in it. A lot of people don't know there's formaldehyde in any of your pancake syrup, but there's none in the organic. And my daughter's allergic to formaldehyde, so that's how we had to do that. Now let me move these out of the way so you can see how I'm cutting this. Another thing we love in our pancakes and waffles is pecans. I buy this brand at Ingles. That's the only place I can find it because that one does not have BHT on it. And it's Georgia peanuts, but it hasn't been treated with BHT. And that's another bad chemical for you. And if you watch now, it's in our makeup. I get my makeup from Royal Norman and some of my makeup, and it doesn't have, they have BHT in some of the stuff, but they do have products that still don't have BHT into it, and it's real hard for me to find makeup that doesn't have EDT or BHT in it. Now the strawberries, our pancakes, see, it's bubbling up on us here. And then, if you don't want to do any syrups or anything, you can just do the pancake with fresh fruit because you're getting 14 grams of protein in that one pancake. And then you can have a glass of milk with it if you like. I usually do water because I have milk in my pancake, my dairy. And then, if you put the strawberries on it, I find that one pancake with a few strawberries holds me until lunchtime. Because when you eat whole wheat flour, you can't eat as much as you can of other flours because they don't fill you up. Not only does it fill you up, it has wonderful nutrients in it. all the vitamins and all, and I'm going to give that to Tobe to put on the website, all about the whole wheat flour, and I'll give you all of what's in it. But the one thing I learned very first with cooking with whole wheat, and I was young and having babies, is the folic acid in it. And when you're pregnant and before, you need that folic acid for your baby to be healthy. And it's better, vitamins are wonderful, but if you get it in the food, it's 10 times healthier. Now I better turn this here. Let's see how this did. Oh my goodness, it doesn't stick at all, y'all. Hey, that's a pretty pancake, y'all. I really like this pan. I'm gonna have to buy one for my home. There are some problems to the Teflon coating and stuff like that, and this is supposed to be healthier. So that's wonderful. The next pancake we do, we're going to add some pecans to it. I also put blueberries in my pancakes. The other thing I wanted to tell you too, I love maple syrup, but I also use honey, Be Well honey. And sometimes for fun, I mix the honey with the maple syrup, and it gives you the best tasting syrup that I've ever had. And it was an accident. I did it once because I was kind of almost out of maple syrup, and I didn't want anybody to know it. So I quickly just added some honey to it because it had the same color, and it turned out to be the best tasting syrup I've ever had by accident. So here we go. Let's see about this. I would like to see all of y'all learn how to eat whole wheat flour. Grinding is very easy. You feel like at first that it's very tough because you think, how can you handle all that? Well, it gets to be really easy because you have your flour with you all the time. Now, how do I do this so inexpensively? I buy my flour in bulk. So when I have to buy everything in bulk, my flours and everything like that, my brown rice and all that, then it's so much cheaper per pound. And so that's how I can do that. So as I show you in the cookbook, I have about a pantry. If you go and have the pantry, the out cost at first is a little more than you'd probably want to spend, but from what I'm hearing with people on their what they're buying, $100 and $200, I don't spend more than $50, and I have it with my kids a week for food, and we eat really good. But it's because I buy in bulk. I also use coupons, and coupons are really important to me too. But I don't buy anything in the store with a coupon that I don't normally use. I just use it on the stuff I use. Now, some of the stuff I can't find coupons, but now they have better with the organics and stuff like that. But when you eat like this, it makes the whole inside of your body run better because it has all the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients and enzymes that the human body needs, and that's the way God did it like that. In my cookbook, I have a verse that refers to, because wheat is everybody right now is against wheat. The wheat that's the problem is the processed wheat. When you have it like this, and then some people have asked me about genetically altered. Yes, genetically altered is a problem, but I get mine from Wheat Montana, and Wheat Montana is checked every year, every 6 months. They belong to a group in the United States where they are not genetically altered at all. And so that makes it a lot easier. I think I'm going to have to turn this down a little bit. Oh my goodness, y'all, 2 in a row to look that good. I'm telling you, my pancakes are usually a little bit messy when I'm doing them for my family, and here they're doing great, so I know God's just blessing, so I look good to y'all. But the other thing with my pancakes that I do is I take freezer bags, and when some of these cool, I'll show you, and I put them in a freezer bag, and then you can just pull them out, pop them in your toaster, or if you have your whole family wanting it, you can put it on a baking sheet, a cookie sheet, after the oven is warm, and they warm up really quick. Just don't put it on too high. The other thing I do with the pancakes is I make dinners out of them. Sometimes on Sunday night after we've had a big dinner for lunch, maybe after church or right before church, you can do this, and you can do it with all kinds of things. I know this is terrible, but I've also done chocolate chips for my daughter and her friends in the pancakes, and then I made homemade whipped cream for on top of it, and then they still put syrup on it. So, but they had a lot of fun with that. But they also, even though they got that sugar, they still had the protein, so it doesn't make your blood sugar fall so fast with that. Now we're going to do a pecan one. This is the most even cooking pan I have ever tried, and I wanted to try it for the first time here so I could be totally honest with y'all. And I just have a few minutes more to do this little pecan one. I have one of those inexpensive. My sister gave it to me from Walmart. I call them a Whopper chopper. And they're wonderful for my nuts and stuff like that, so I don't have to pull out a big food processor. And I just put these pecans in it. And it's so easy to do. And I love pecan. I know Southerners are famous for their pecan waffles and pancakes, and that tastes so good. And then we'll let that cook, and in just a little while we'll be going to a break. But I also want to tell you too that we are putting now Springer Mountain coupons for the chicken in our cookbooks when you order it. So it kind of helps defer some of the price of the cookbook. Thank you so much. We'll see you in just a minute. Bye. Hey y'all, I'm ready to try it, but first of all I'd like to say a little grace. Dear Heavenly Father, bless this food to the nourishment of our bodies and to all the viewers out there that try this. Thank you, Lord. Amen. Thank you. Oh, it's delicious. It really is, and it's done inside. I was kind of worrying with this pan whether it would be done inside, and it is, y'all. It's not hard. So go to Walmart and get you a new pan, because I am going after we're done here. Thanks so much for watching us today. I really appreciate it. The strawberries are excellent. They're in, and they're not South Carolina strawberries, but they are USA strawberries. And so I really appreciate y'all watching today, and I hope you'll try this and let me know. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Y'all have a blessed day.